and who are able to see me, hear me, and go to wherever these videos are posted. I appreciate you coming by, and I just wanted to acknowledge you before I begin any type of conversation that I'm going to have with any of the listeners or any persons that may respond to me or anybody that's interested in the topics that I'm covering at hand. Just to give you an introduction to myself, if you haven't seen previous videos, I never really did give a formal introduction. My name is Charles Galloway. I go by Teddy, and I have a small background in giving adult instruction, military background. I do a lot of different stuff. But some of my interests include religion, politics, sports, just general conversations with people. I like to get a firm grasp of ideas, and I like to problem solve. It's just what I like to do. And a lot of times I like to solve problems straight out the box. You will notice today that I have a couple items on my person that you haven't seen in previous videos. One, I have my hair is really long, so I'm wearing a hat because I feel ridiculous. Plus, I kind of dig the hat. And then on the other hand, I have this dark sleeve on my arm because I don't normally wear short sleeves, but today I did. And I have tattoos here that I'd rather not advertise on a video for this purpose. So the reason why am I having this video? Why am I recording this video today? And the whole point and the objective of this video is to talk to people who are out there, who are considering the facts and who are analyzing them and trying to find the right answers. So first and foremost, I'm talking to Muslims. One, if you're a Christian or a Jewish person, you are more than welcome to view this. Follow along. I'm sure that a lot of the things that I say will be able to, you can extract the knowledge and you'll be able to use them again in the future. But more importantly, I'm talking to those Muslims who question authority, who question the status quo, who question traditions, culture, and who question other people's beliefs and their religion. I am targeting for this video people that are attempting to worship in a way that is bigger than how they have typically been given to do. I am not making a video or responding to videos or answering questions for people that think that the way that they're currently practicing is right, nor do I have any intention on changing the practices of another. So with that said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most gracious and merciful, I intend on bringing truth to light and all the time. And I don't intend to say anything wrong. I don't intend on committing any lewdness, any laws, or any callousness in the environment. And I don't intend on doing anything wrong to anybody else. Anything that I say that's wrong is on me, and it's only my fault, and I will pay the consequences of those things. And if I am wrong, I expect someone not to follow me in any of the aspects that I'm saying. And if something I say is not right or just rubs you the wrong way, then feel free to ignore that one statement, or feel free to ignore the entirety of all of my statements until I rectify the problem that I had. So the primary focus of this video here today is to explain to all the people out there who really believe in the Qur'an, that the Qur'an is perfect, that the Qur'an is fully detailed, that Allah gave down the Qur'an, that the Qur'an is a guidance for mankind at all times. It is both from the past and for people of the past, as well as for the future and for people of the future. Not only does it give us an analytical history of prophets and stories of people before our time, but it also tells us what is going to be said in the future when Allah calls us all back. And if you don't say Allah, that's fine. God calls us all back to be judged for the actions that we have committed on this earth for the short time that we're here, in order to accomplish the mission that we are to accomplish and to pass through to a life that we're going to in the future. It is really important for me to tell the Muslims who are of this type of outlook that you are not alone. Just real quick, when I first came to Islam, I was extremely impressed with the character of the Muslims, one, as well as the type of as well as the book that was given to me, as well as the Quran. I was extremely impressed by it. I came from Christianity, and I had read the... So for those of you who are Christian and you're reading this, look, I'm not a silly guy. I wasn't just a regular Christian. I actually read the Bible. I read multiple translations of the Bible. It didn't rub right with me. It's a lot. To me, it felt irrational and illogical to believe in that manner, especially given all of the understanding that I had been given about the history of Christianity and how everything formed. So with that, I'm leaving that off to the side. What I want to say is the Quran is beautiful. I picked up the Quran Surah to Fatiha, and I compared that to the Lord's Prayer, and lo and behold, I had an answer. I knew right off the bat that I was onto something. I understand the basics of religion and what they all have, and what they all have tangible values that they all maintain. And I decided to put that into my life. So for those Muslims, going back to my original point, for those Muslims who feel that way about the Quran, and for the Muslims who came to the religion in truth or through whatever means discovered truth, I wanted to let you know that you are not alone. That there are many, 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 many people just like you, and they're all over the place. You can go to the masjid right now, and there will be a Muslim in the masjid that follows the Quran only. Or you can go to the masjid, and you will notice that a brother stopped coming to the masjid, but he still has a mark from prayer. He still, every time you see him, he still gives you the greeting. But for some reason, he's not coming to the masjid anymore, and you can't figure out why. You ask him why, he doesn't really give you an answer. He's just kind of tiptoeing around the idea that he just wasn't comfortable. Or you will find a Muslim who every time something comes up where it's a social environment, although he's practicing and he's going to prayer, and you see him off on the side and he's praying, usually he's praying out loud because the Quran tells him to pray out loud, but then you don't see him during social environments. I'm here to tell you that maybe one of those guys that are acting in that manner could be a Quran only following Muslim. Maybe there are young Muslims out there, maybe there are young Christians out there who are interested in Islam that have read the Quran and automatically believe in it, but they feel so bogged down with all the religious doctrines and religious guidance and different rules and laws and everything else that they are said to have followed that they completely stay away from the religion in general. Maybe those people are around. And my whole purpose, my whole goal for having this video today is to tell those Muslims who are like that, that don't be ashamed that you're like that, because Allah has guided you to the Quran. If He didn't guide you to everything else, then so be it. You're guided to what you're guided to. The second thing I want to say is, you guys that feel like this, put your, I don't know, there's got to be maybe I'll devise some type of secret way to let the other Muslims that are Quran-only Muslims know that you're a Quran-only Muslim. My method of doing that is by posting these videos and then put them on Facebook and on YouTube and on Google Plus and everywhere else that I can put them in order to tell people that I'm this way and why I'm this way, so that, one, they can ask me questions about it, or two, they can stay clear of me if they want to. Just all right with me. I have no problems with that whatsoever. So for those who question, us as Quran-only Muslims, I just wanted to let you know that we feel completely satisfied with the Quran. That we feel, or my personal opinion, that I feel completely satisfied with the rules and the guidelines that I was given, and the idea that I can freely choose to pursue religious and believable understanding on my own without the ideas of a scholar or an imam or some type of sheikh or somebody else to spiritually guide me. If I had needed spiritual guidance in the beginning, I wouldn't have left Christianity, and I wouldn't have left my family, friends, and priests and pastors and whatnot, and I wouldn't have started coming to the Quran and discovering it on my own with the help of our Creator. Additionally, once I came to Islam, when I was coming to Islam, I didn't need somebody to translate the Quran for me, because like the Quran says, it is easy for those who are guided. Simple, factual, reasonable. O you who believe, O you with reason, do you not understand? Do you not take heed? Do you not read? Iqra. So all of these things to me was a very reasonable and rational method of getting me to wake up and smell the roses and understand the Quran and just start practicing it in my life. And granted, I'm 100% aware that I am not doing the best that I can do. But by golly, I'm doing my best with everything that's going on in my life. And this is one of my methods of doing that. Additionally, I wanted to say a few things just from the top of my head that I was jotting down before I put down this, before I started creating this video. With confusion comes questions. And if you have those questions, they need to be asked. So somebody who doesn't believe how we believe, it's fine. If somebody doesn't believe how I believe, that's completely fine. Because if they never thought to ask a question and they never got an answer, therefore they're not going to believe something that they have no reason to ask. If a person reads the Hadith or tries to follow the Sunnah 100% or reads the Quran and does not feel like it's answering a question, then those people are going to have confusion. And if they have confusion, they have two choices, and I could draw a logic tree off of this. They have two choices. They can either ask questions based on their confusion, or they can not ask questions and go with the flow. So when they go with the flow, this breaks down to another part of the tree. They can either follow whatever everybody else is following, or they can deviate completely and just go away. So now, based off of that, we have three choices for people that are confused. Ask questions, ask questions, believe and continue to follow, or don't believe at all and go completely astray. You have three choices based off of confusion. Now, if you ask a question to the Almighty and you are sincere and you're honest and you're actually seeking advice and help, then and those are going to be some of you who watch this video. I guarantee it. You're going to watch the video and be like, yep, this guy makes perfect sense. Or no, this guy's a stupid. You're just going to hang up the phone, but close the computer. But if you ask questions with an open heart and guidance, then you will surely be given guidance. Why? Because those who try will be given. It's simple. It's too easy. And if you just think about the idea of following the Quran only, and you go back through and you read all the parts in the Quran that are referring to Muslims, even though Muslims do not think it's being referred to them, there are a lot of places where it's talking about hypocrites. It's talking about people that are with the believers that aren't the believers. It's talking about what people say and do and who are the most likely to turn away from their faith. All of these things are in the Quran. And there's no question whatsoever who those people are. None whatsoever. Additionally, if a scholar, an imam, or somebody else is listening to this or is listening to me and they're saying, well, I don't agree with this guy, even if you respond, it doesn't bother me one single bit. You can be knowledgeable about Arabic, you can be knowledgeable about the Hadith and the Sunnah, but that is not going to prove your point, because the point has to be proven with the Quran. And that, my friends, boys and girls, that is impossible. Because even if you take the rudimentary, fundamental idea of the Hadith that is taken from the Quran, where it says to follow the Rasul and follow Allah, well, actually it's the other way around, to follow Allah and follow the Rasul, you still reasonably could not follow the path that you're following with the Hadith. Because the Hadith are mentioned 4 times, and every single time it's mentioned, it is a negative. If there's a question on this, I will post immediately to this, y'all. As soon as this video is posted, if somebody has a question about that, I will give you all 4 places. And I also am aware of all the translations with their parentheses and their brackets and filling in the blanks and giving people a better idea of what the verse is saying. It's completely unnecessary. A smart person who's going to pick up the Quran to try to read it and understand it on their own is not going to need that. And if they really need that, if that's completely necessary, then they'll go find a second translation. I don't know. They'll go say, well, alhamdulillah. They'll go say, I found one translation of the Quran, and this is what this one said. I find another translation of the Quran, and this is what this one said. And then I can go downstairs into my basement and find 50 other translations of the Quran, and I can look at them all and tell you that every single sentence says the same thing, whether you have parentheses there or not, because those distort people and they take people away from the religion. Honestly. Especially when you have all that stuff at the bottom where they have to read it. So they get through a page and then they have another whole page of stuff at the bottom to read. Completely unnecessary, especially when it doesn't always pertain to that verse. Get rid of the Hadith for those who are trying to learn, please. And thank you. Finally, for those who follow the Quran only, or for those who think that they should be, but they have questions about the specific acts. So we have prayers zakat, we have hajj, we have a whole plethora of other things that we're supposed to do that are detailed out of the Quran. The next step for somebody, they say sometimes, well, I need the hadith to explain how to do all those things. Oh, that doesn't really make sense, because if the Quran is fully detailed and it's complete, then that means that either you are deluded to think that there's a specific way to do it, or the specific way to do it is in the Quran, or Allah doesn't want you to do a specific way. He wants you to do it the way that you're guided to do it, which is a very simple and unquestionable fact. Even if I were to accept the hadith in general, I would still question the science behind it. I would still question the chains of narration. You know, it's funny. Let me talk about this one right now. I wonder if I have something that I can utilize to explain this process. Let's pretend this little rope is a chain. Okay? Here's the beginning of the chain. Prophet Muhammad's down here. Here's the end of the chain, the person who's narrating the chain. Let's say that all the way in between here, there's a whole bunch of connected people. Great. Even if I'm supposed to believe that this person said the thing that this person says, there is no way for me to verify it. Because once it goes into my ear, that's the end of that chain. And I can't go back and say that this happened. This is called a chain. A chain has a connection. Chain of narration. That would make perfect sense if there was a connection point. So if somebody said that the Prophet Muhammad said something, whoop, then it got back to him and he verified it, lo and behold, then we have a connection. Right now, none of them do. Not a single one. Because he would not allow people to write them down or to think of him in that way at that time. The next question would be, who does that serve and why does that serve a purpose? Who keeps the hadith continuing to go, and why do they continue the hadith knowing that you cannot keep this chain sound? It doesn't make any sense. But that is not the whole point of my video today. The whole point of the video today is to tell those who even question the fact that they should be following hadith or sunnah that you in fact do not have to as a religious guidance. Okay, fine. If you want to do it as a spiritual guidance, wrong. If you want to do it as a historical understanding of the Prophet Muhammad, you can do it. Although, again, he didn't verify that he did it. So it doesn't matter how you boil it down. The Quran says to verify, verify, verify. If somebody's doing wrong, there must be witnesses. If somebody's doing something great and people don't know they're doing it, there's no witness, therefore they can't prove it. How can you prove that somebody is a prophet of Allah? Well, only if Allah says it. And if Allah says it, then why do you need anything else that person said? Because obviously that person's following a guidance. He's following his guidance from his creator in the form of a book that he left for you. Why do you feel the need to add anything else to it? I mean, that's besides the point. Sorry. Got off topic. That tends to bother me a little bit. I'm aware. I'm sorry, and I apologize. The most important thing about what I'm trying to say today is, brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum, there is no possible way that you are the only Quran-only Muslim out there. I'm here to tell you now, and I thought I was in my own little circle, and it turned out when I created our Converts to Islam group that there were other people who thought just like that. Both converts and people who like to be around converts for the exact same fact that we came to Islam purely and that we have an open mind about everything. So when I was approaching, it's like, oh, hey, brother, okay, what do you think about this hadith? I was able to give an answer says, well, this one sounds great, but this is my problem with it. And they say, so you question this too? And I say, yes. And they say, why? And I give an answer. Or I have sisters that read my blog and say, hey, Teddy, how's it going? I like what you have to say, but, and then they follow up with questions. Their questions are always about the traditions and the cultures. I haven't had a single question about the Quran yet, because all of these people understand it. And yet we're told that we have to follow something that we don't understand. This is problematic. People, this is problematic. I'm probably going to post another video about some other stuff, but I said, Quran-only Muslims, whether you want to call yourself a Quranist or a submitter or a Quran-only Muslim, I don't care about all the nitty-gritty ideas. I don't care about how you make salat, because it's nothing to do with me. I am my own person, my own beliefs. It has nothing to do with me whatsoever. I don't care about how much zakat you give. I don't care. I'm not your judge. I don't care about when you go to Hajj, if you go to Hajj, or if you think that you're supposed to go to Hajj. You know you're supposed to go to Hajj. It is not my judgment on any of your actions. As long as you say you're following the Quran only, I don't even think I can have a problem with anything, because at least you're guided to do what the Quran is telling you to do. Even if you're making mistakes, at least you're guided to do something. That's it. That's how difficult could that be? Oh, anyway. To close out, I wanted to give an idea of truth. There are two types of truth. There's truth based on fact, and there's truth based on perception. I'm going to show you truth based on fact, and why truth based on fact is better for you. Truth based on fact, capital T, is superbly, awesomely, and always 100% sound and correct. It may not be verifiable because we don't have the tools to do it, but it always exists, whether you want it to exist or not. Even if you deny big T, if you deny the big truth, it's still going to be the truth. It doesn't matter if you deny it or not. So for those who are atheists out there, I don't care if you don't believe in God. That has nothing to do with me. The truth of the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, whether I'm right or you're right, we're still going to be judged on what the definition of all things is, which is the ultimate truth. It's very simple. Now, there's another type of truth out there, and it's a very personal thing. It's very fun. It's fun. It's lowercase t, your truth, perception. It is what you think is right, even though it may or may not be right. It is what you think is right based on your experiences and your personal action throughout the world. It is your opinion on what the truth is. Right now, when I say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, says I bear witness that there is only one God, that there is God. That's it. That there is a God. Right now, it is lowercase t. Guess what? If it also equals, come back here. If it also equals the big T, then guess what? I got the answer right. Yay! But if it stays lowercase t, and let's say the big T is wrong. Let's say the big T is that there is no God. There is. Trust me, we'll figure it out. But let's say that I'm wrong. Guess what? Guess what? My little T still doesn't lose. I still believed in something that I didn't need to believe in, but guess what? I still believed in it. That's my perception. So for the atheists out there, for the Christians out there, it says, Jesus was God. Or for the atheists, there is no God, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's what you believe. But if your belief doesn't match up to this, well, guess what? You're screwed. That's all I'm saying. Use your head and use your reason. That's all I'm saying. All right, anyway. All right, Quran-only Muslims, stick with the big T. I wish peace and blessings on every single person who's ever seen this video, ever will see it, seen any of my other videos, have been to any of my blogs, have been to any of my pages, have been even around me at all, ever in my entire life. I wish nothing but the best of you, and peace be with all of you. If I were to go today, I'd feel happy making the statements that I've made today, and I am very, very, very happy that I am not the only one like me around. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you. Have a great night. Shalom, salam, peace, deuces, goodbye, hello, sayonara, bonsoir, and bonjour. Later.